What's the difference between these two games? One game lets you drive the tank, the other, you are the tank. No, seriously though, Seek and Destroy, probably one of my favorite childhood games from the PS2 era. Check out this manual. You don't really see games nowadays include that, much less a CD, but you know, if we take a look here and inside the book, we can see the lore, and it's pretty crazy. Sentient tanks. Incredible lore, very fleshed out. The game company was Burnhouse Effect Co. Mostly worked on these things called Chora-Q games. Little penny racers, essentially, and that's what these tank games are. They're the little penny racers of these tanks. Not really a whole lot after this, other than this Tank 3D game that came out in 2014 for the Nintendo 3DS. In a grand twist of events during the editing process, I actually found that this company did release a tank game prior, and it seems to be in the same series. For the PlayStation 1, their Chora-Q combat game, it looks practically similar to what we have with Seek and Destroy, although a lot more basic, rudimentary AI. Also, like, graphics-wise, not terrible looking, but I don't know, nothing to write home about, but just thought it was interesting to include that little tidbit into this video. I never heard of this. Apparently it was never released outside of the United States, so do with that as you will. So the original plan for recording the footage for this game was to hook up this old Rokio game capture to my fat 60 gigabyte PS3 model that had PS2 compatibility, but I don't have the cables for this thing, and so what I'll have to do is record footage from my phone and also combine it from footage that I found on YouTube. I'll link that in the description below for the original creators. Unfortunately, that's just how this is going to have to be recorded. Explain what's going on here at the very beginning. We are essentially one of the last strongest nations in this world, basically holding out against a bunch of fascist sentient tanks, and this is one of the last cities, our last stronghold. Essentially, we have to hold this town or we have no foothold in this war. Destructibility in this game, you can just take out entire buildings by just shooting them. But as you can see, we're going through here, we're mopping up the rest of their resistance. We're just better than them, and we're not fascists. Oh, man. As you can see, we absolutely saved this town from this attack.
Did it, Patrick! We saved the city!
Playing this game with one hand, I'm recording it. I attempted to hold the phone with my feet. That didn't turn out so.
This is so hard, dude.
Actually really fun. So what's cool is you get one stick to kind of control your movement and where you're facing, but the other stick acts as your turret control. The only thing that kind of sucks is the camera itself is tied to your turret, and it takes forever for it to actually turn with the actual turret gun, if that makes sense. So it can feel sticky in some situations, but it just sucks that I do not have a capture card that's working in order to capture this footage, because it looks really great on the PS3, honestly. The screen mode and adding smoothing and whatnot. So essentially, you can make it full screen instead of 4x4, and bada bang bada boom. It just works. We got a new tank. That's the enemy tank we were fighting. Stewart. The Stewarts are my favorite tanks in this entire game. I always pick the Stewart. They're just simply the best. And to kind of talk about this, this is the overworld. This game actually has kind of a open world mechanic, like an RPG. It's so cool. Enemy troops will appear on the map, and you can actually like attack them in the overmap to get some damage in, or you can actually just destroy cities and essentially do different things. So it's an open world game. 2002, I mean, yeah, you're playing as tanks, but I mean, it's so cool. It's just so cool to see these features. And like, we just saved this town and it's all built back up and whatnot, but later on you'll see like some towns don't necessarily get fixed. City. I just think that's cool. And then you can do things like, oh man, I need to go over to the weapon shop. So, one moment. I think it's down the road here. Yeah, there it is. There's the shop. Just like I remember. And you can go to the garage to put the upgrades on that you buy for your tank. And I mean, some of them, like some of the stores won't have certain things, but like if you wanted to go faster, and some of these upgrades just kind of either sit on your side, but you can get a whole chainsaw, which is dope.